The players are counter. Messi, he can't get space there from them all alone. There from Mbappe. It's the near post, and it's cleared away by PSG Guendouzi.
There's certainly no doubt that the round-leader game of football is the most followed sport in the world, with showpiece like age-grade competitions, continental competitions, FIFA World and Confederation Cup. The game of football, however, has dealt a lot of blows by the recurring racial issues on players of this beautiful game. In this episode of How They Made It series, we will share the experience of one of the game's prolific and controversial stars and how he coexisted with racism in football. Paul Pogba was born on March 15, 1993 in Lagny-sur-Marne, France, to Faso Antoine and Yo Moriba. His parents were Guinean Muslims and lived in Conakry, Guinea before Paul was born. Tired of poverty, the family moved to France for a better and more fulfilling life. He was one of the thousands of African families that moved to Europe during the African refugee crisis in early 1990s. At the age of 6, Paul Pogba joined his very first football club, the US Ombre, which was a few miles away from his home. Under their efficient guidance, Paul's techniques improved significantly, and in the next 7 years, he emerged as a highly competitive young player. And from there, he entered a season of unending professional football success and stardom with huge racial abuses and controversies. Paul Pogba, like most dark-skinned players, have had to face increasing racial abuses, including in a 2019 match featuring Manchester United versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. In the Premier League match, Pogba missed a penalty which led to racist abuse on social media. Though the club issued a statement condemning the abuse and called for stronger actions from social media platforms to tackle such incidents, nothing much was done to the offenders. In the same year, another match between Manchester United and Chelsea FC, Pogba missed another penalty and was subjected to another reign of racial abuse on social media. Again, Manchester United released a statement expressing their disgust at the abuse and vowed to act against the offenders, yet nothing much was done to the offenders. And in 2020, in the match featuring Manchester versus Southampton, Pogba received racist message on social media following a mistake that resulted in a goal. The club once again condemned the abuse and called for the platform to take stricter measures, but with similar outcome as in the past. Now, it is important to mention that Manchester United, Pogba's club at that time, consistently condemned the racial abuse that Pogba received from fans of the club and called for stricter actions against offenders.
He's a strong character, and it makes him stronger. When you speak to him, he's fine, and I just cannot believe we still sit here in 2019 talk about these instances. Twitter, of course, or social media is a place where, as Harry said, people can hide behind fake identities. I don't think it's down to me to change it, but there's so many Ole Gunnar Solskjærs on Twitter and social media that I know is not me. And of course, we've got to do something about it, and the authorities got to do something about the ones who spread this hate. And you just feel sorry for them, really. They must have problems themselves when they have to do this.
They shifted responsibility to social media platforms to take responsibility and implement measures to prevent such abuse. While the Football Association in England has been actively working to combat racism in football by investigating incidents of racial abuses and impose sanctions on individuals found guilty of such behavior, nothing much was heard of fans that racially abused Pogba. Interestingly, Pogba's teammates and fellow players both at Manchester United and from other clubs have shown support for him and condemned the racial abuses that he endured. Pogba did not hold back. Paul Pogba, a professional football player in the English Premier League and the French national team, has been an outspoken advocate in the fight against racism in football and football racism to a standstill. For instance, Pogba has used his social media platform to speak out against racism and discrimination. He posted messages of solidarity and support for victims, highlighting the need for unity and equality within the sport. He granted interviews to international and local journalists and made statements condemning racism in football. He has used his platform to raise awareness about the issue and express his personal experience with racism, emphasizing the need for change. As a result of his active involvement in campaigning against racism, he was invited to participate actively in FIFA's No Room for Racism campaign. This initiative aims to combat discrimination in football and promote inclusivity. Pogba has featured in promotional videos and supported the campaign's message through his actions on and off the field. Also, during matches, Pogba has been known to make symbolic gestures to highlight his stance against racism. For instance, he has celebrated goals by raising his hand in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement, showcasing his commitment to combating racial injustice. Did you enjoy this video? Please like and comment and subscribe to this channel so that you can see our next video. Thank you for staying with us on Mandate Monday. Until next week, we will come your way with another edition of the Mandate video. Bye.
Textbook stuff from Paul Pogba for Manchester United.
Happy to go in goalless at half-time as the ball goes into the box. And they're not going to go in goalless at half-time because Paul Pogba has dispatched it into the back of the net in added time at the end of the first half. It's Crystal Palace 0, Manchester United 1. Crystal Palace all complaining about offside as the ball came in here, as it's knocked on is
Matter. And then the header. There, he still might, he has 2-0. Paul Pogba warms up for a European final with a goal. And it's his 50th in his career for club and country. Lingard knew Rooney was